All right, let's talk about something we all use literally every single day, Bluetooth. You probably don't even think about it, right? But how does that invisible link between your phone and your headphones actually stay private? We're going to break it all down.
Yeah, have you ever really stopped to think about it? You're on a bus, maybe a crowded train, listening to a private call in your wireless earbuds. What is actually stopping the person sitting right next to you from just tuning in? It's definitely not magic. It's a really smart security system, and that's exactly what we're going to get into. Okay, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll look at the why. What's the mission here? Then we'll jump into the how, the digital handshake, the secret codes, all the rules. And we'll wrap up with the so what. Basically, how safe is all this? Really? All right, section 1, the security mission. So before we dive deep into the techie stuff, let's just get a handle on the big picture. What are we even trying to do here? What is Bluetooth security meant to accomplish? Well, it all comes down to 5 main goals. Okay, let's break these down. Authentication is basically the device asking, hey, are you really my headphones, or are you some random device pretending to be? Then you've got authorization, which is like, okay, you are my headphones, but do you have permission to, say, look at my contacts? Probably not. Confidentiality is the obvious one. It keeps your conversation secret. Integrity makes sure that the data being sent doesn't get messed with along the way. And privacy, well, that's all about making sure someone can't just follow you around by tracking your Bluetooth signal. These 5 things, they're the foundation for everything. So that leads to a big question, right? How do 2 gadgets that have never even met before, how do they start trusting each other? It all begins with a process we all know called pairing. And really, you can just think of it as a very specific, very careful digital handshake. And this process is a lot like meeting someone new. First, there's discovery. That's your phone just looking around to see who's there. Then authentication, kind of like checking an ID to make sure they are who they say they are. If that checks out, you create a shared secret. It's not an inside joke, but it's close. It's a super important cryptographic key. And the last step, bonding, is like exchanging phone numbers. You save that key so that next time you don't have to go through the whole introduction again. You just connect. Boom. Now, modern Bluetooth makes this handshake pretty easy with something called Secure Simple Pairing, or SSP. You've seen these. Just works is when you don't have to do anything. Think simple headphones. It's easy, but not the most secure. Then there's passkey entry, like typing a PIN for your keyboard. Numeric comparison is super common now. You just see the same 6-digit code on both devices and hit yes. It's actually pretty solid. And then there's the really high security option, out of band, which uses something else like tapping your phone via NFC to handle the intro. Okay, so our devices are friends now. They've done the handshake, they trust each other. But what about the actual conversation? How did they keep that private? Well, that's where the secret codes come in. We're talking about keys and encryption, the stuff that scrambles all the data. And this is really the most important part, the link key. This thing is like the master secret. It gets created during that very first handshake, and both devices hold on to it forever. It's the foundation of their whole relationship. Every single time they connect after that, they use that link key to say, yup, it's me, and then they generate brand new temporary keys just for that one conversation to keep things encrypted. And man, has the encryption gotten better over time? Back in the day, classic Bluetooth used something called the E0 stream cipher, and, well, it had some known problems. But today, especially with Bluetooth Low Energy, or BLE, we're using AES 128. This is the real deal. It's a super strong encryption standard that's used all over the world to protect really sensitive stuff. We're talking a massive upgrade in security.
All right, so we've got trust, and we've got a secret encrypted channel. We're pretty much done, right? Not quite. There's one more layer we need to talk about, the rules of engagement, because even your trusted devices need to play by the rules.
And this is that authorization piece we mentioned earlier. Think about it this way. When your headphones connect, you want them to get access to your audio automatically, right? That's automatically granted. But what if some device suddenly wants to see all your contacts? You'd want your phone to pop up and ask for permission first. That's granted after user confirmation. And of course, you can just block certain things entirely. That's denied. It's all about making sure a device doesn't get too much power. So to manage all this, Bluetooth actually has 4 different security modes. Let's run through them real quick. Mode 1 is basically no security. Yeah, it's the Wild West. No encryption, no authentication, nothing. You won't find this on any modern device, thankfully. Okay, Mode 2 is a little better. It's what we call service-level security. So a connection can start without security, but the moment a device tries to do something like access a file, the security protocols kick in.
Mode 3 is where things get serious. This is link-level security. Here, the security starts the second the connection is made. The entire link is encrypted from the get-go, before anything is sent.
And that brings us to the king of the hill, Mode 4. This is the standard today. It requires that secure simple pairing we talked about, and it uses that strong link-level security. For any modern device you buy, this is the mode it's going to be using. It's mandatory.
So, there you have it. We've walked through the whole system, the goals, the handshake, the encryption, the rules, but what does it all add up to in the real world? Let's get to the bottom line. What are the strengths and, just as importantly, the weaknesses? On the plus side, the system is pretty flexible. Modern versions use seriously strong encryption. That AES 128 is no joke. And for the most part, it's really easy for us to use. But it's not perfect. Old school pin pairing? Yeah, that's weak. And that super convenient just works mode can be tricked by something called a man-in-the-middle attack. But you know what the biggest vulnerability might be? It's us. And that really is the main thing to remember. Bluetooth security isn't just one wall. It's defense in depth. It has layers: authentication, authorization, encryption, the whole deal. But every single one of those layers can be completely worthless if the final layer of defense, that's you, just blindly hits accept on a pairing request you don't recognize.
Look, the tech itself is strong. It's designed from the ground up to keep you safe. But it's like having the most secure front door in the world. It doesn't matter if you just open it for anyone who knocks. So it leaves you with this question. Your connection is secure, but is the biggest risk you? That moment you have to decide whether or not to click accept.